Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jonise Boyd, and you are tuning into another episode of Women with Beauty and Brains. And guys, look where we're at. We're at a gun range. I'm super excited. I feel like this is going to be one of my favorite episodes. We are here with the owner and creator of Pretty and Protected, which empowers women through self-defense training. You guys, welcome the beautiful Enjonette, also known as EJ. We are with the beautiful EJ, and guys, it's raining and it's cold, and obviously we're at a gun range, so you are going to be hearing a few gunshots. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what is Pretty and Protected, and why did you start it?
So Pretty and Protected is a program that I started now, almost 4 or 5 years ago. And I started the program pretty much because I was harassed and I saw a lot of women that was going through similar situations. And so Pretty and Protected it's not just a program, it's really a community for women to come and be a part, to be able to open up about certain things that they may have experienced or may be experiencing, and to really come and get training, real training, understanding how to, number one, not just firearms, but understanding how to work with firearms, how to be comfortable with firearms. And then also a part of the program also has a mental health component to it. So also teaching women how to breathe. A lot of us were taught to breathe in your nose, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and that is the improper way of breathing. So I teach women how to properly breathe in and out through your nose, which also helps them to overcome certain situations that they may be facing. So there's a lot of different components to this. It probably take a while to break down.
So, as you guys could probably hear, there is going to be shooting in the background. So, for women who might be feeling intimidated by, guns or firearms, what do you, how can you make them feel more comfortable about coming to training? I know I wanted to say this too. I actually trained with you.
Yeah.
And when I first walked in, I was kind of like nervous. But then once we actually started like loading the guns and even learning and taking the courses and the classes, I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to women that might feel a little bit scared about the firearms?
Well, first, our main goal is to get women to I call it respecting. Also, it's getting comfortable, but I also call it respecting because I feel like once you can understand, a firearm, you can understand the proper way of picking it up, of loading it, of just the safety around it. Once you become comfortable, I think you're more willing to understand and to begin the process. So there's two ways that we do this. If we're indoors at indoor range, we have a classroom setting. So typically we'll sit in the classroom and we'll get you comfortable. If we are not indoors, outdoors like we are today, we actually hold a virtual class the Friday prior to our class, and we will walk through what it is, what you're going to come, what to expect, how to breathe through the process. As I said, we also teach the breathing. So we just make sure that we prep the women before they get here. Now, one thing I always stress, it is at the end of the day, they're firearms, they're guns, it's noise, but I think if we all come, I think being that there's a community coming together, the women, they ease up, they're like, I'm not doing this alone. We have to walk them through it. If we have to, make sure that we're holding them as they're going through the process, just to make sure that they're comfortable and constantly checking, even
Right.
today I was checking on you guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're good, because I know the noise sometimes can really alert, someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So can you you do have a manual out that
Yes.
I want you to talk about that a little bit,
Okay.
and also why you created the manual and why you actually created Pretty and Protected as well.
Yeah. So
Your story about it.
yeah, so the manual I created, it is called the Self-Protection Playbook, and it's for girls, teens, and women. And it's really to help women get through just day-to-day situation awareness, really. I A lot of us don't, I feel like we're not aware as we should be. And some people look at it as like, just going overboard. But we're constantly going to the stores alone. We're constantly walking to our cars alone. We're in and out of our homes alone. We don't know who's watching us. I've actually seen like a young girl walking down the street one day with her headphones in, and I saw a guy turn around and start following her. So those are
Wow.
things that I feel like we are not aware of. We
Right.
shouldn't be walking as a woman by ourselves with headphones in, listening to music, not being paying attention to our surroundings. So the book is really, it's not nothing intense. It's really just to take you through day-to-day situations and how to get through those situations, how to get through, mental health, how to make sure when if you have a lot of groceries and you're walking to your car, to make sure that your dominant hand is free, or that you're able to move around. So the book is really basic, but it takes you just through different situations to help women continue to maneuver through life, not being afraid. I always say that we are our first protectors. We protect everyone if we think about it, our kids, our families, but we always fail to think of how to protect ourselves. So I really want women to start learning how to protect themselves, how to be aware, and just not to let the anxiety and the pressure of everything else fall behind it. The program itself, though, as I mentioned, I was being harassed at one point. I was dating a guy, make that story short, but I was dating a guy. And when I started to see some red flags, I separated myself from him. I told him, I cut it off. And during that time, he didn't want the situation to be cut off. And so he began to harass me, sending me different messages. I would block him. I blocked him on everything, social media, phone calls. I would get random numbers sending me messages, to the point that he actually popped up at my house one day. That's when I knew it was like time. I've always been into firearms, but I never thought about it as a program until I was in a situation. And it got to a point that I knew I already had a firearm because of the pandemic, so I had bought one, but I wasn't sure how to use it. At that point, I was like, it's either me or him,
Yeah.
and I need to know how to go about this the proper way. And so that's when I started looking into women trainers, because I wanted to train with the woman. Being a Black woman, when I was doing the research, I saw that there were no one out there like us training. It was very rare, and not anything against that, but I just saw a lot of white men that were training. And I felt uncomfortable going to them, telling them I've been in this situation, I need training. So I said, what can I do? And that's when I started doing research. I did find, a woman at that point. I collaborated with her. And then from there, it's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it because you've blessed me and you've made me feel more confident and secure.
Yeah.
Just being able to know how to use a firearm.
Yeah.
How can women that are probably like, I still want to stay in my feminine energy,
Yeah.
but I also want to know how to protect myself.
Yeah.
How can women stay in their feminine energy while also protecting themselves?
Well, that's it. It's our feminine energy. Like
Yeah.
we are in that as we're protectors. Like that's who we are. I think we just think of it as a masculine sense, and it's not. We have the strength. We have the natural strength. I mean, look, we give childbirth. Who else on this earth can do that?
Yeah.
So we have the natural strength to continue to build that. But I think it's a mindset. It's always a mindset. Like one thing in my manual, I talk about your mindset and preparing yourself before you step foot on anything with a firearm, any type of self-defense. You have to prepare your mind. You have to be ready for what it is that you're stepping into. So it's always your mindset, and then it's always your body, paying attention to your body. So I also break those things down in the manual, talking about, making sure the way that you walk confidently. That's something big. People, predators, they know who to prey on. They're paying attention. If you walk around, with your head up like, oh, not today,
Yeah.
they gonna second guess, think if they want to bother you. But if you're walking around on your phone, which is what everyone is doing, they're like this all day long, from the teens up to the adults. So predators see that. Oh, she's not paying attention, So it's really just building that up, from the inside out.
I love that so much. Can you tell us, you're an entrepreneur. Can you tell us a little bit about other things that you're doing outside of
Yes.
Pretty and Protected and how you're able to keep that work-life balance?
Yes. So um entrepreneur and career, I have like both. I'm like a balance of both. So with my entrepreneur journey, I have a nonprofit organization called Women Blessing Women as well, and I work with the hard of hearing, the deaf and hard of hearing community. So it's a lot because I also have a 9 to 5. I'm also a director for a department called Employment Services for a huge foundation called Amity Foundation. We work with those that are incarcerated and giving them a second chance to come back home. So we are the largest, if not the only organization that's in all the prisons in California. So imagine we work with, that. And then on top of that, having the nonprofit. And then on top of that, having Pretty and Protected, which is separate.
That's a lot.
It takes a lot. It all kind of ties together. And for me, it's all purpose. Like it's all been built up from purpose. So it's easy to manage in a sense. I feel like everything is going to be hard. Everything has its challenges. But because they all kind of flow together, it's easy to let it manage and flow.
If you could go back and tell your younger self or give your younger self some type of advice, what would it be?
It's funny because I would tell myself to keep doing everything that I'm doing.
Oh, period.
Yeah, I've thought about that question long and hard. And one thing that I can say is I wouldn't go back and change certain things. I may do things a little differently. You're older, like, oh, I would have done it this way. But I wouldn't go back and change anything because it built my character of who I am today, even down to being harassed. Pretty and Protected wouldn't have been born. We wouldn't be here today if I didn't go through that journey. So I would say I wouldn't change anything because it actually built everything. It builds character. It builds spirit. I love myself like I've never loved myself before. I respect myself like I've never respected myself before. Put myself first. And if I hadn't gone through the things, the journeys, the trials, the tribulations, the traumas, I wouldn't be who I am today.
I love that.
I wouldn't change anything.
Yes, period. And we are super grateful for you. Thank you for what you're doing for a lot of different communities, especially here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And you guys, I'm going to put in the link below her manual. Make sure you guys check it out. EJ, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
And guys, until next time, peace and love.